మంచి చెడుల సారాంశాన్ని అర్థం చేసుకుని మానవులు నైతిక జీవనం కొనసాగించాలి. మహాభారతంలోని ముఖ్యమైన పాత్రలన్నీ ఇదే అంశాన్ని ప్రస్ఫుటం చేస్తాయి. ఆలస్యమైన అంతిమంగా సత్యమే జయిస్తుంది అని ప్రజ్ఞాభారతి చైర్మన్ పద్మశ్రీ హనుమాన్ చౌదరి పేర్కొన్నారు. సుప్రీంకోర్టు న్యాయవాది శ్రీధర్ పోతరాజు ఆంగ్లంలో రచించిన మ్యాక్సిమ్ ఫ్రమ్ మహాభారత్ పుస్తకంపై రచయితతో ముఖాముఖి కార్యక్రమాన్ని తురగా ఫౌండేషన్ ఆధ్వర్యంలో నిర్వహించారు. బిర్లా సెంటర్లోని కాన్ఫరెన్స్ హాలులో జరిగిన ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి పద్మశ్రీ హనుమాన్ చౌదరి ముఖ్య అతిథిగా హాజరయ్యారు. మహాభారత పాత్రలను సమకాలీన సామాజిక పరిస్థితులకు అద్దం పట్టేలా రచయిత శ్రీధర్ చిత్రించారన్నారు. భారతదేశాన్ని నడిపిస్తున్నది ధర్మమేనని ఆయన చెప్పారు. నన్నయ్య నిజంగా నానా రుచిరార్థ సూక్తి నిధిలాంటి వారని, జగతికి హితాన్ని చేకూర్చేందుకే పంచమ వేదాన్ని అందించారన్నారు. కార్యక్రమంలో ఎంటర్ప్రెన్యూర్ గిరిధరన్, ప్రజ్ఞాభారతి అధ్యక్షులు శిరీష్ గోపేశ్వరకర్, పుస్తక రచయిత శ్రీధర్ పోతరాజు, ఉషా, చంద్రశేఖర్ తదితరులు పాల్గొన్నారు. అనంతరం రచయిత శ్రీధర్తో ముఖాముఖి నిర్వహించారు. మహాభారతంలో రాజనీతి, ధర్మం, వ్యక్తిత్వ వికాసం ఇలా అన్ని కోణాలు ఉన్నాయన్నారు రచయిత శ్రీధర్.
So he has taken all the versions of Bharata in so many languages, in so many centuries, and then by using the linguistic yardstick, he said this is the correct text. That is what he has gone to while picking up these suktis, these maxims. I congratulate him and I commend this excellent book, Maxims from Mahabharata. And he has the blessings of one of our living sages. Anybody can name that? Parasharan, who Ram Janmabhoomi argued, and when he was there, when he was asked to sit, he wouldn't sit. He would not have his chappals or shoes with him, because Rama's name is so sacred that about a 90-year-old person stood and argued before the bench, spellbound. He has also quoted Nani Palkhiwala is another great Indian saint, scholar, and an intellectual who in the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan was responsible for the publication of so many things, and he has mentioned in his preface his ideas. I once again congratulate him and the two organizations, that is my Prajna Bharati and the other one, for arranging this one. Dhanyavad.
First of all, what I would like to ask you, Sridharji, is what made you think about this?
It's a very interesting journey. As a lawyer, I have had occasion to deal with a lot of Latin maxims. And from my childhood, I've always been enjoying playing with words. And I used to pick up proverbs, Nanullu, Sametalu, or Muhavre, or they have different names in Indian languages. And they actually are most effective mode of communication. And I felt that to put across a point or score a debating point, the appropriate maxim is the way of communication. And in my professional space, we are using Latin maxims. Now it's considerably reduced. But somehow I felt that there is a vacuum insofar as our own maxims are concerned. Unfortunately, I think India is still to come out of its intellectual slavery. So therefore, we are still enamored by maxims from outside, and then we are somehow subconsciously enslaved. So we think low of our languages and our proverbs. So that's a low self-esteem, which is reflection of our inferiority complex, which is born out of colonial rule. And I think that is where I felt a little concerned that after 70 odd years of political independence and thousands of years of existence as a civilization, that we are not actually owning up to our own heritage and cultural richness, and then depending on very superficial jurisprudential maxims, which we really don't even know the context in which they are made. So that is where I thought that there is a need for Indian maxims. Sometimes in 2018, in fact, And I was hoping that somebody else will do the job like a good Indian. And then nobody was doing it. And I, in fact, looked around. There were different random books, quotable quotes or things like that, but nothing in this format that I could come across. So that is when I decided that probably I have to take up this task for myself. And then this is the first of that series that I'm going to do.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now the other thing is, you talked about the intellectual slavery with the colonial rule, etc. When are you going to get rid of your black coat, the apron?
Well, there are two ways of losing it. I give up my practice, I lose it straight away. So the other way is when the rules permit. So as a dharma abiding citizen, I follow the rules.
Well, let's come to dharma. We talk about niti, nyaya, dharma. One of my friends who practices here in the High Court, an advocate, he was talking about the statement that is made saying Satyameva Jayate, which is what is used in all the High Courts. But he said Supreme Court has Dharmameva Jayate. But then I looked at this to try and read the logo over there. Exactly.
It's Yato Dharmas Tato Jaya.
Yes, I would like you to talk about that. In fact, differentiate all these three things: Nyaya, Niti, Nyaya, and Dharma.
I would rather defer that classification because I'm not a linguist to venture into that space, but I would like to deal with the
Legal.
second part,
Legal.
which is within my domain.
Yes,
Whereas
yes.
when we talk about Satyameva Jayate, that is that truth shall prevail. That's the cultural and civilizational value that we have always practiced in this country. If you can look at the status of Satya, from Satya Yuga as we refer to, followed by Treta, Dwapara and Kali Yuga, the oldest story of a person who's given up everything for the sake of truth is Harishchandra. And that is the testimony that even people today give about truth, that Harishchandra la unnadu. So it's satirically used now that this guy to Harishchandra ban raha hai. Jhoot bolne pe kya problem hai? So, but that's a civilizational, I think, genetic programming that all of us have inherited subconsciously. Therefore, it's probably not been eroded.
ఇలాంటి మరెన్నో ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ వీడియోస్ కోసం మా నేషనలిస్ట్ హబ్ న్యూస్ ఛానల్ను లైక్ చేయండి, సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేయండి, షేర్ చేయండి. ఆ పక్కనే ఉన్న బెల్ ఐకాన్ నొక్కడం మర్చిపోకండి.